Students of Kidderminster College, please welcome to the stage your host for today, Scott Garrett. Thank you very much. Thank you. How you all doing? Where are you from today, sir? From Worcester. All the way from Worcester. How many help, sir? Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's play the music now. How you doing, everyone? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all a bit of fun. I'm not going to continue the whole presentation like that. And luckily, I can't see any of you anyway, so it's all good. Actually, is there any chance we can get all slowed down now? Yeah. Right then. I will continue using some things. I feel like a rock star at the moment. So yeah, how you all doing? So you've all joined the music course. Lots of fun. My able technician here just to plug my Mac in. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll start with a little bit about who I am. So this today is called Building Careers in the Music Business. So who am I? I've been a touring drummer. I've been a drum tech. So some of the bigger artists I've played with. I've been a drum tech, for Kaiser Chiefs across a couple of tours. I've been a touring drummer, toured the States about 6 times with a couple of signed bands, so 2 different bands, and I've toured Europe as well. So as a touring drummer, I've made no money at all, I'll tell you now. So absolutely nothing from being a drummer, but I've made my cash and my jobs and what I do in the music industry from all the other roles around this. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about today. So opening your eyes to other roles. So currently, I'm not a drummer anymore. Does anyone want to be in a band? Looking for a drummer? No? Okay, very good. So, I'm an artist manager. So, one of the girls I've been managing is a girl from Hollyoaks, which is one on the top left there, called Abby Phillips. Does anyone know who she was? Anyone? Yeah, so someone like that there. I am a television booker. So, I've been finding artists for believe it or not, an Indian TV network on VH1 and a New Zealand network. I went to Reading Festival last year and interviewed Unit 6, who's these guys here, so booking those guys on. That's Ed Sheeran down there, so I've been working, I did some early merchandise for Ed Sheeran before he was playing 3 nights at Wembley. Can you believe that? Ed Sheeran, one person by himself, filling 3 nights out at Wembley. So if you can happen to him, who's he dating now as well?
Nicole, what's her face?
Sure thing.
Good. Yeah, there you go. So there's hope for ginger guys. Every ginger guy out there, we've all got hope. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Management coordinator. Another big role that I do is the bookings for Merry Hill Centre and all their artists and their music content. So for example, I'm quoting on the Christmas show at the moment. What do you think the budget is that they had last year for their Christmas show for artists? Anyone this is going to be interactive, so just shout out a number. How much money do you think they spent on artists last year? Just for their one Christmas show?
£30.
£30. We can add a few zeros there. It was £30,000 that they spent on a free gig, and they booked a Little Mix for that. So Little Mix came in. They played for 15 minutes. They were in 5 minutes before they were due on stage, so in by a chauffeur. Did their piece, and then straight off again 5 minutes later, didn't talk to anyone. They got 30 grand for that. So I've just done a quote this year for Rita Ora for the Christmas show. It's not going to happen there, so I'm not giving any excuses because she was way out of the price range. She was £100,000 she wanted for 20 minutes work. That she was all going to do. So the reason I'm telling you this is I don't get access to that kind of cash. I just have to be the middleman who's booking it and talking to the agency to get these artists in. But the money is still out there in the industry for artists like that. And my other big role, while I'm here, is Mass Records. So who's been in a Mass band before? I presume some of you would have been, okay. What was your band? You were Chase a Deer, wasn't you? Were you her curse words? Embarrassing, yeah. So you can probably tell the guys or the rest of them what Mass is, but we're here not a lot of people see us, but we're the biggest part of the college. We've got 500 students enrolled on our master's course this year, which is about 120 bands, and we've got bands in Leeds, Liverpool, Brighton, Bristol, which we've just been to. So we're all across the country every weekend, mentoring all these bands. But that's what keeps me busy. So that's kind of my background here. If anyone ever wants to come and talk to me, pass me demos. I'm always willing to listen to stuff. So let's start with my first slide and why you're here today. Right. Grab some water. Everything changes. Okay. What do you think that means? So who can I pick on? Andy. What do you think that means? Everything changes.
Me?
Yeah.
That means that stuff that's going on doesn't carry on going on.
So yeah, everything in the music industry changes at a rapid pace. So it's not like other industries, it can change literally on a month-to-month basis. The way you can tune music, the way you can do gigs, the fees you can get for gigs, you can be popular 1 month and then not pull anything the next month as well. Especially in the pop industry, like an example of that is I booked, do you remember the band Stushy? Yeah, I booked those to do a Merry Hill gig last year. Considering they've had 3 top 10 hits, I think, and when they were at the top of their game, they could probably pull 3,000 or 4,000 people to a gig. They couldn't get 50 people to a gig. This was literally because they'd been out in spotlight for about 6 months. So everything changes. You have to be aware of that, and this is what we're going to be talking about today, building up careers. So, first thing I want to talk about. What's anarchy then? Someone tell me what anarchy is. I'm going to go and pick on someone. What do you think anarchy is? Okay, not following rules. Anyone want to add on that? What they think anarchy is? That's a good description of what pretty much it is. Yeah? It's what, sorry? Will you govern yourself? Okay.
Punk rock.
Punk rock. Thank you very much. That's what anarchy is. Right. Do you want to see what the Americans' definition of anarchy is at the moment? It's a deodorant. That's what anarchy is. So this is what I'm talking about. Everything changes. So it's a new fragrance for him and her to unleash the chaos. That's what anarchy is. So you've taken a whole movement of punk rock and branded it onto a deodorant. So this shows how much the world we're living in is changing. It's the same as peace as well. Does anyone want to smell peace? Yeah?
Yeah.
This is peace. Does it smell like peace? You all feeling peaceful?
It smells like
There we go. Do you all smell peaceful at the moment?
No.
No? So this is the world we're living in now. Peace and anarchy are deodorants. It's okay for John Lyndon, Johnny Rotten to advertise butter. Can you imagine when, well, you need to look back at history, when the Sex Pistols came out, these were the most anti-establishment guys probably to come out in the last 40 years, I would say. Can you think of any other bands who would have had an impact on society like the Sex Pistols? Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, they were actually, Sex Pistols, the monarchy obviously tried to stop them from, well they did to stop them from going to #1. Now it's okay for him, hero of the Sex Pistols, to advertise butter, in the same way it's okay for Iggy Pop to advertise car insurance as well. Why are these artists doing that though? So why is he doing that? Why is he doing butter?
You can't make anybody shout about it.
Yep, good point. So then, let's just have a quick survey. Access versus ownership. So this is today, you can make those on this if you want, but this is what I feel is a big problem in the music industry. Who knows about access versus ownership? What am I talking about by this, would you say? We'll pick on someone else. Yeah, okay, Matt? So, okay, it's to do with music and how we consume music. Let's just do a quick survey. Who's purchased, so spent money on a record over the last month? Okay. Who's listened to music on YouTube? So can you see straight away, half of you purchase something, everyone in the room has listened to music on YouTube. Who's listened to music on Apple Music, Spotify, those type of services? More people then? Yeah? So this is what we're talking about now, this is where we're at with the industry. You access music now, and if you walk out this room and go and talk to people who aren't musicians, because we're in a room full of musicians, most of the people there access their music. They're not bothered about owning a physical record anymore, they're not bothered about having the cover art, having a CD at home, things like that. They just want access to it as quick as they can and as many tracks as they can. So as musicians, you've got to accept this, everything changes, it's good. There's no point moaning about it and saying, well, I want the old industry back, that's gone, it's dead, forget about it. This is where we are now. There's new job roles with major labels that I've been seeing advertised over the last couple of months where they're literally just looking for people to curate playlists. That's a whole new role which has been created in a major label. So what do I mean by that? Anyone want to hazard a guess?
Does it involve just curating new playlists of new up-and-coming artists, basically, to, like, you see it on Spotify quite a lot,
Yeah.
where there'll be playlists of, like, new up-and-coming people that are about to, like, be fairly successful or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. And you've got major. Yeah, sorry.
Also, does it not, some of the clubs as well, they obviously recommend music on your behalf, music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Does that count as well?
What's happening now is Spotify is giving people like you the power. If you got yourself, say, 100,000 followers on Spotify because you were great at making playlists and you came up with quirky names for playlists, so this is my angry playlist, this is my playlist that I have when I have a broken heart, things like that, and all the right music fits into that. Record labels are going to be contacting you now, saying, can we get our new artists onto your playlist, and paying you for the privilege of putting them on. So that's the new era that we're in now. That record labels are contacting now the consumers with the big playlist and saying, how do we get our artists into your playlist? So that's completely changed around. The old system would be, you would go to a radio plugger, you would go to a press agent, you would hire a marketing guy in, you would hire a social media guy in to do all this. Yeah?
I was going to say you mentioned radio, but I mean, it's the death of the radio.
Say that again, sorry.
The radio plug is still relevant.
Radio pluggers are still relevant, but it depends on the type of music. Radio pluggers are only relevant if your stuff would fit onto the Radio 1 mainstream playlist. Yeah. If you've got a niche type of music, forget using a radio plugger. It's just not worth the money. And radio pluggers can cost you, on a low person experience, I spent, the last artist I managed before Abby, I spent about £6,000 just on radio pluggers. Trying to get this artist onto Radio 1 playlist, Radio 2. Didn't get anything with it, so it was £6,000 wasted, but she ended up going on the Radio 1 playlist through BBC Introducing. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah. And what success has he had in the past? What artists, big artists, has he got into A-list, B-lists?
Jackson.
Yeah. And you got proof of that? Because a lot of people in the industry do come out and say, oh, they're Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson's been dead for how many years?
He looks after Ollie Murs, Scattered Girls, all the whole pop acts.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I mean, it's great he's doing that, and I'm not believing you, but you always have to check out the source of what they say. So if someone said to me, yeah, I've got Michael Jackson on the radio, I'd go, well, he's been dead for 10 years. What have you done in the last month? Right, okay, so years and years ago. And this is what I'm saying, everything changes by month to month, so check out the history of who they are. But if he's doing it for free, he's probably seen... Pardon? So you wouldn't do that if you weren't a friend? Yeah, exactly. There you go. So this is the state of the industry at the moment, though. But if we look back at the past, it's only exactly what happened. There's similarities between the music industry now and something which happened in the publishing books industry in 1850. Believe it or not. And you can take lessons from this. So, in 1850, people were actually protesting about libraries being opened. Yeah, the 1850 Library Act. There was mass protests in the street against this, and there was people saying, and I'll tell you why, people saying that this is publishers mainly, if libraries opened, concerns were expressed that it would infringe on their private enterprise, so people actually buying books. How does that sound similar to what's going on now in the music industry? Yeah, very similar, isn't it? The protests were mainly about the higher people in society were worried that there was going to be social disturbance in libraries and the lower orders of society would start reading and being more educated. So there was a very much a divide back then where the working class had to stay down here, we didn't want them educated, and then the higher people in society were obviously the ones who wanted to keep where they were, keep the money where they were. Does that make sense now? Can you see similarities from 1850 to what's going on now as well? So the point I'm trying to make now, so the next thing I want to talk about, and what we're going to go on to now, is motivation and how you should all be approaching this course. So those of you who are just starting the course now, I'm really into motivating and how musicians should be motivated. So hopefully this will make some sense to you, but the first thing I want to talk about is creating a movement, standing out. So how do any of you guys, if I look at you all now, who stands out at the moment to me? Yeah, you guys have already been asking questions straight away. I know that I'm going to be able to go back to you and ask you questions and you're going to be sensible answers, you're standing out. How else do you stand out? You're on music courses, you're performers, you know, everyone really, you know, who is the best bass player, who's the best guitar player? How do we notice you? So, a bit of a fun video here. This will explain it better than me, but yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, at TED we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not two nuts, 3 is a crowd, and the crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So, notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So, over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So, first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit. But it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
Right. So what is an entrepreneur then? So anyone want to talk about that actually? Yeah, I think that was it's a good video, isn't it? It kind of shows You're not going to do it now, and I wouldn't expect anyone to get up and start dancing. No, okay. But that kind of shows visually what it is to be a leader, what it is to be, and then a follower as well to create a movement. So, what I'm trying to teach you, this might keep coming on after, we'll do our best, we'll get through it. So what's an entrepreneur? Anyone want to hazard a guess what an entrepreneur is? Yeah? Someone who has multiple businesses? Yeah, someone who has the fingers in a lot of pies, I like that. Anyone else? A forward thinking, who said that, sorry? Yeah, that's good. We've got an entrepreneur right at the back here. Kind of leaning on the Ravens there. You look really into it, yeah? What do you think it is? Someone's made a business on their own. Yeah, okay. All really good points. So these are what I'd got a entrepreneur as: a risk taker, a creative person, an innovator. All your points as well. This is what I think we should be teaching you. Dr. Dre, Britney Spears, are they entrepreneurs? Yeah, Dr. Dre especially, I mean, is that guy a billionaire now? From what? From Beats headphones? It's not from his music, is it?
Katie Price is a very shrewd business.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Katie Price. But random fact about Britney Spears, she sold something like 50 million albums worldwide. Hasn't earned hardly any money off the actual publishing or music side to her music. Why would that be? After 50 million album sales. Sorry? Label takes some of the money, yeah, most of the money. Any other reason why Britney Spears wouldn't earn that much money from her actual music? She didn't write it, yeah. Perfect. She didn't write the lyrics, she didn't write the music, so she's not part of the actual sales. When it goes onto TV, someone uses one of her tracks, the writer gets some money for that. What Britney Spears actually made money from, though, is how many bottles of perfume do you think she sold with her name on it? Yeah, so 50 million album sales. How many bottles of perfume has she sold?
At least one per album.
It's 900 million. That's how many bottles of perfume Britney Spears has sold across the globe. She was the first one to have the celebrity endorsed perfume. She came in at the right price point. Okay, girls in the audience, you put your hands up and be honest if you've ever been given or had a bottle of Britney Spears perfume. Come on, hand up if you had it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, same people, 5, yeah. How many of you have got Britney Spears albums as well? 1, 2 of it. So there you go. So there's a ratio of 5 to 2 there. From perfume sales down there. So she's made an absolute fortune and she's a multi-billionaire from selling fragrance at £10 a bottle. And what's the advantage to that as well, to selling fragrance over an album? Why is it, pardon? It runs out. Yeah. Does it cost as much to make? Do you have to tour it? Do you have to do music videos for it? Do you have to record it in the studio? Do you have to spend months doing production behind it? You spend less money, but yeah, exactly. So this is what I think we're here to do. We're here to inspire musicians, which is what all you guys are, to become entrepreneurs. That's what I'm about, you know, the part that I would be teaching you about when you got to level 4, so I think I'm only teaching on level 4 this year, but if you come through to level 4, you get me then. But the part that I'm interested in teaching you guys about is where is the money? How do you earn a living from music? How do you earn a living from making a career? That's what you're all here to do, essentially, isn't it? Yeah? Put your hands up if you do want to earn a living from music. There you go, everyone. So this is what we're here to do. It's a massive, important part of the course. Right then, so now we're on to, how are we doing for time, Andy? We're on 32 minutes so far, I've got. Yeah? We're on to now my motivation part of the lecture, which should take probably another half an hour. Motivating to succeed then, so the 24 Garrett Gold rules. My name's Scott Garrett, these are the 24 Garrett Gold rules. Any Rocky fans in the house? We've got 1, 2. If you don't like Rocky, you're not going to enjoy this. I'll tell you now. Or you might like Rocky after this, okay? Right then, the first step to motivation for you as a musician, desire. So anyone want to be brave and tell me what is their goal? What's their ultimate goal that they want to do in life? Anyone want to be brave and tell me that? What you want to do with your music career? Could be one tangible thing. Yeah?
Earn money from gigging and selling music and selling merch and things like that.
Okay, how much money do you want to earn?
Enough so that I could pay off a mortgage within 10 years.
Okay, how big's your house going to be? $500,000? $250,000?
I don't
1.5 million?
Depends where you live, isn't it, in the country. If I stay up here, it'd be really cheap.
So the reason I'm asking you this is you need to have like a set goal saying, right, this is what I need to be doing. Some people say, I want to be earning £30,000 a year for music. Who thinks £30,000 a year is a good wage to be earned from music? Yeah? Compared to what maybe your parents are on, things like that, it's okay. It's the UK average wage that is £30,000 a year. That's your average salary. Some people might want to earn £100,000 a year, but really, the money is not the desire. It could be something else, like I want to play on the Jules Holden show. That's my ultimate goal. Yeah? So if that's your goal, you want to play on the Jules Holden show, then you have to be completely and utterly in love with that goal in the same way, infatuated with it, in fact. Who can think of the first crush they've ever had? When you can't stop thinking about that person, that's how you've got to be with your goal in music. It's exactly the same chemical in your brain. That's how you've got to be. Every day you've got to be getting up saying, right, how am I going to get to my goal? What am I going to do today to get myself to that goal? If you haven't got that, you're not going to reach that goal. It's that simple. You've got to have that desire, that passion to do that. Right, have a plan and practice for disaster. Never take your country to war unless you're sure of the outcome. Sun Tzu. I think that was a football player from the 80s who said that. So, I'm not too sure, but Andy's a red man, aren't you? So you probably know who he is. Actually, you know, The Art of War, Sun Tzu, is still one of the top 10 self-help books or something like this. And it's been in the charts for the last 10 years or something like that. So, how popular that book is. When was it written, Andy? You know? Yeah, okay.
15th century.
15th century, thank you very much. The man with the masters there. Right, so have a plan, practice for disaster. So, this is one of the biggest things I find with the mass records musicians, they don't have a plan. So, the plan could be, we want to get the Jules Holden show. Right, what do we have to do? So if you've got that goal in mind, well, it's obviously a TV plugger who gets us onto that. Okay, who's a TV plugger? How did so-and-so band get on there? What's the team behind it? One of the bands I was speaking to at the weekend said they want to play Slam Dunk Festival. That was their goal. Once we got through this conversation, I said, yeah, we want to play Slam Dunk Festival. Within 5 minutes, I found out who the promoter is for Slam Dunk Festival. I found a phone number for it, I found an email for it. So they've now got a plan to stick to. Right, this is, we need, I said, you can't send anything yet. You haven't got anything ready. You haven't got a fan base ready enough there yet. You haven't got decent enough music. Look at the type of bands we were on it. But they've got a plan to stick to now. They're going to get everything in place to get to that plan. And once they've done that, they then have another plan after that. What do we mean by practice for disaster? What musicians don't do when they do band practices, I find, is practice for every eventuality. We have fire drills here. Why do we have a fire drill? So we know what to do in a fire. So what happens at gigs? What can actually happen, which could be a disaster? Anyone want to say? Pardon? Yeah, strings on your guitar could break. Yeah, bass could get blown up by your pyros. The singer might get punched in the face by someone from the audience. You might have a drunken bass player who's had a bad night, something like that before. The singer might have blown their voice because it's free gigs in and they've been shouting every day.
Power supplying your guitar outboard goes.
Power supplying your outs on your guitar, outboard goes, yeah, things like that. So what do you do in that situation? Do you crumble? You might have the police run through a gig and arrest someone in the audience. By the way, everything I've just said there has actually happened to me at a gig while I've been playing. We've had the police run in and arrest someone in the audience. Someone's got up on stage, drunk, and punched a singer in the face.
Wow.
Yeah? Disasters can happen at gigs, but you've got to be prepared for them, practice for them. So I'm not recommending that you go out and get the bass player smashed before a practice, but know what to do in these situations. In fact, we had a band that we were looking after a few years ago, got themselves onto the main stage on Download Festival. I won't say who they are, just for their... I won't say who they are at the moment. So they've been practicing for it, their big break is on the Download Festival. Unfortunately, they were not the right type of band for that lineup. So, first track in, all they had was bottles of urine thrown at them, pelleted at them, yeah? They ended up doing about 3 tracks and then running off scared. So, practice for disaster. Be decisive then, make a decision, don't turn back. Musicians aren't very decisive, I find. Where do you want to go for dinner? Has anyone ever said that? Yeah? Just amongst your group of friends. So where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. Who decides? Yeah?
Drummer.
Always a drummer. Or as Rocky would put it, it's a Rocky moment now. There is no tomorrow.
Okay, here it comes. Jab! He's jabbing! He's jabbing! He's gonna hurt you! You gotta fight him! You gotta move! He's hooking! Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Good tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow!
Very deep, I think we'll all agree. There is no tomorrow. That's what you've got to keep telling yourselves when you're deciding if you want to go to McDonald's or pizza. There is no tomorrow. So next thing then, momentum is king. So this is what we find with a lot of mass bands that we deal with, following up small achievements with goals or new plans. So actually, you guys said you had a radio plugin campaign done for you?
Yeah.
For free?
Yeah.
Did they get it playlisted?
Yeah, we got on Wayne Speaking Radio, and then we'll run Sunderland or on BBC.
Yeah.
And then introducing us on Radio 1.
So you went through it for the introducing thing. What did you do straight after it? What was the plan?
Festival, we played in the park.
Yeah.
In the park. We had tours lined up, but they fell through.
Okay.
And sports shots were quite a big thing.
Yeah. Do you wish now, looking back on it, everything would have been a lot more concise and you could have gone, right, gig straight after it, we're going to have a release coming out, it's going to be followed by a press campaign, we're going to be doing interviews.
Singing was too lazy and like rubbish and self-promotion.
Yeah, okay. You're hitting the nail on the head really with a lot of problems, and you can probably tell some of these guys stories by the sound of it and what you have with members in the band as well. Momentum though, that's the key really. So what do you do afterwards? You have this plan, we've hit the Jules Holland show, but then what do we do? This is where labels come in, this is why people do still sign to labels, because labels map out these plans for you. Managers should be mapping out these plans for you as well, if they're good, and what you do. At the moment though, if you haven't got a manager, you haven't got a label, you haven't got a publisher, you are the manager, you are the label, you are the publisher, you do it all until you're in a position to attract one. Who would like to get a manager for their music? Yeah? Obviously, who would like to get a record deal? Yeah, so you'd like to get them. There's an insane industry, which I always say to artists, if you're looking for one, if you're actively sending your stuff out to get one, you're not good enough to get one. It doesn't work that way around. From every experience I've got, they find you, and they come to you once you've got a big fan base, once you've got some momentum, once they can see things happening. So you create the momentum, you create the movement. So just keep telling yourselves that it's a waste of time sending stuff out to managers, to labels, until they're knocking your door there. Which brings us to do something for someone with no expectation to get anything back. Yeah? Has anyone ever done that for someone that they want to tell me that? Yeah? Okay? Matt?
Not any particular cases, just don't be afraid to give and expect something back.
Yeah. And why is that a wise thing to do, do you think?
Depends what your aims are.
So I would say, because if you do that, at some point something will come back anyway, because people will remember that you did that thing. And really, you know, if you work in a pub and you're not in a band currently and they're looking for bands, why wouldn't you say, well, I'll get some of my mates' bands in? Or you've got access to a great recording mic and someone that you know on the course wants to borrow that mic at the weekend to do a demo. Are you going to say, no, you can't use it, it's just for me? Why would you want to hold someone back? Do something for someone with no expectation to get anything back. Then you would all probably get on a lot further. Imagine if we were in a situation, right? You've got how many people in the audience here? Probably about 60 people. If we picked one band from the audience every week, or one artist, and we said, right, this week, we're all going to promote this one artist just in the course. So all 60 of us are going to go onto our social networks, we're going to go as far out as we can, we're going to flyer people, but everyone in the room is going to promote that one artist. How much further would that one artist get from everyone joining forces and doing that? And then the next week we do someone else. So collaboration is what I'm talking about here. Right, persistence then. So keep on doing. You may have to alter your plans, but not your goals. You might have to rethink your goals. Just keep on doing. Persistence is one of the key things that I'm talking about with motivation, but I think Rocky probably says it better than me at this point. My favourite quote.
I'll tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always going to love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you're going to have a life.
Yeah, another poignant moment there. Actually did bring a tear to my eye as well. Anyone else? No? Okay. I do recommend you go and check out all of the Rocky films for research over the weekend. They're actually on Sky box office, no, on Sky Freeview at the moment, whatever it's called. You can get actually 1 to 6. Probably start with Rocky 4, I would say. The long way around of doing it, but in Rocky 4 he actually defeats communism in Russia from boxing ring. Which I can't name any other boxing film which does that. You can. Little known fact about Sylvester Stallone as well, he's never made a bad film. Right then, moving on. Accumulate diverse skills. This is one of the most important things you can all start doing right now. Accumulating diverse skills, so making yourself more employable to do a range of skills. So example, who can edit a video? Okay, so about half of you can edit a video. On a decent program like iMovie or Final Cut, things like that. Straight away that makes you more employable for any type of business, if you could do any type of video editing. Who can make a website? Okay, a few less people. So you're very employable, like I say at the back straight away. So who can use Photoshop? Yeah, these are the people I want in my band, the people who can do all these things. I'm not really bothered about the most amazing bass player. I want the guy who can fix the car and could be an average bass player. Yeah, so you can fix the car. Who can speak another language? Shall I test you then? Okay, can you say my name is, whatever your name is, in another language and say I enjoy being on the music course? Force you out. These are things which make you really employable though. Employers look for this and there's no reason. You've got the access to YouTube now. I've been teaching myself how to use Sage. Does anyone know what Sage is? One of the most boring programs ever. It's an accountancy software. I'm paying an accountant to do my accounts because I can't use Sage. I'm saving money now by just using the software that they use called Sage. And all the videos for it are online. It's so easy to use. This makes you more employable, honestly. If you put all this down on the CV, you'll get more jobs. Who's got a job at the moment? Wow, actually that's quite a high percentage of you get jobs. But pretty much this half of the room have got jobs and this half haven't. This means something why you've sat there. Right, we're coming through now. Ridding your fear of failure. This is a big one with musicians. The biggest reason why you might not achieve your goals. Who doesn't put themselves forward because they're afraid of failing? You're, I won't swear, but you're known for it, aren't you? You've spoken to me, you won't put yourself forward for things because you're scared of what's going to happen. What is the worst that can happen when you fail? You fail. Yeah? I think failure is great, and I think you should all go out, I honestly think this, I think you should all go out and fail at things. I firmly believe that. You should all go out and fail. Why would I say that?
Because you learn from it.
Because you learn from it, because it's written there as well. Because you learn from it. The amount of times I've gone out now, like I say, going back to before, I've spent £6,000 on radio flubbers over the last couple of years. I'm not going to do that again, because I've learned from it. And then I can put that wisdom back to you and say, don't go and do that. But you've got to go and learn these things, fail at them, and then you get better at them. So failure is nothing to be scared of. So I think we need another Rocky moment now. Actually, this was Rocky's wife needed to say this.
You did what you expected to do. You did what I and everybody else thought you should do. And you're going to tell me that those fights weren't real? That you were carried? Well, I don't believe it. It doesn't matter what I believe, because you're the one that's got to carry that fear around inside you. Afraid that everybody's going to take things away. Afraid you're going to be remembered as a coward. That you're not a man anymore. Well, none of it's true. It doesn't matter if I tell you. It doesn't matter because you're the one that's got to settle it. Get rid of it. Because when all the smoke is cleared and everyone's through chanting your name, it's just going to be us. And you can't live like this. We can't live like this. It's going to bother you for the rest of your life. Look what it's doing to you now. I think she can do it. So do I. But you better want to do it for the right reasons. Not for the guilt or the making. Not for the people. Not for the title. Not for money or me. But for you. Just you. Just you alone. And you lose. At least you lose with no excuses. No fear. And I know you can work with that. I'm going to fight it.